don't want to keep talking about the Patriots wide receivers because it feels like we do that at least twice a week on this channel, but every report keeps coming out every single week of something new. And Boston Sports Journal's Greg Bedard, he said that the Patriots could trade Stefon Diggs before the beginning of the season. Welcome to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and when I just saw this article, he was kind of projecting the 53-man roster, Bedard, and I already don't think he's the best Patriots beat reporter that there is, but come on. You signed Stefon Diggs to be your wide receiver one, and you could see, before tearing his ACL last season, he was an absolute dog. 47 catches, almost 500 yards. So why the hell would we go out and trade Diggs? I think Greg Bedard is out of his mind when he says, oh yeah, they could possibly trade Stefon Diggs. Now, he did mention that it was not a for sure lock, 95%. We'll get into the quote in a second. But just even saying that he's not a lock to be on this team at the beginning of the season is just outrageous. But in case that they do make a move and Stefon Diggs does just possibly get moved for another wide receiver, which we could talk about. We'll talk about that later in today's show. If they make a move, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. We're giving you free Patriots coverage all throughout the offseason. We're going to do watch parties once the year begins. So go ahead, hit that big red sub button, and subscribe to the channel. So he talked about it, Bedard, and we both thought, every single person in Patriots Nation knows that it didn't start well. You had the whole entire boat situation with the pink bag, with whatever it was in it, and then you go and miss OTAs. But since then, it has been smooth sailing, and it seems like Diggs is completely bought in to the new Patriot way with Mike Vrabel and wants to be a part of this team. This is what Bedard said. He said, Diggs, Hollins, and Kyle Williams are these stone-cold locks. I'm, however, not guaranteeing that Diggs is on this roster. I would put it at 95%. Why aren't you just putting it at 100%, Bedard? Come on. My only allowance, the team isn't thrilled with Diggs. For whatever reason, a legit number one wide receiver becomes available, and Diggs goes out into trade for the new number one wide receiver. It's a long shot, but I'm not totally ruling it out. I would completely just backtrack on that statement because we've seen what Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels has had to say about Stefon Diggs, and they're both highly of him. They're talked about how much he's bought in, and they weren't worried about the boat incident at all. And since that, there's been no reason for the Patriots to want him gone. He is posting on social media every single week. This comes from Carlos A. Lopez, and he took this from Stefon Diggs' Instagram, and he is working out nonstop every single day, trying to get better, trying to be ready for that week one, because coming off ACL surgery, you obviously think that a wide receiver is not going to be at his top of his game, and having it happen in the middle of last season, not towards the end, or somewhat towards the end of the year, we didn't know if he's going to be available week one. So he's truly trying to get ready to be available so he's not getting put on that PUP list, so he's not missing 4 games. And let's be honest, with the Patriots' current wide receiver room, they need him to be ready week one. We've talked about it before. You cannot go into 2025 with Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, and Kendrick Bourne as your top wide receivers. We saw what happened when it was Demario Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, and Kendrick Bourne as your top 3. The Patriots wide receiving core was the worst room in football. 161 receptions. They were bottom 5 in the NFL in every statistical category. Only 10 touchdowns. You didn't even have 1,800 yards receiving. Patriots haven't had a 1,000-yard wide receiver since Julian Edelman in 2019. That's why you bring Stefon Diggs over. And you can see the production is there for Diggs. 1,000 yards every single year except the 1 year where he tore his ACL. But you can see he was on pace in 8 games. You double that, that's about 1,000 yards in 16. You go and add 17, and not to mention Tank Dell getting hurt, so probably wouldn't have helped the Texans. It does not help the Texans. Would have helped Diggs getting more reps and more targets, but he was still on pace to get 1,000 yards. And that's what you want out of your star wide receiver, and that's what the Patriots got. So why would you want to get rid of him? It doesn't make any sort of sense whatsoever. You can go out and get a wide receiver one, like Bedard said, but you already have one. You already have a star. I get it. He's going into his 30. He's 32 years old. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Would you guys trade Stefon Diggs for a wide receiver one? Whoever that wide receiver may be, there's one guy that could be on the market. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Scary Terry, but would you guys do it? Type Y for yes, type N for no down in the comments section. Now, I don't think they're going to trade Stefon Diggs, but I still think the Patriots could go out and make a move for a wide receiver. They have plenty of cap space. They have the draft capital, and they have wide receivers to get rid of, such as a Kayshon Boutte or a Kendrick Bourne. We'll get into that in a second, but I got to tell you guys about this deal going on. It's a Patriots polo. It's the last time for the week that I will show you guys this polo, and we'll have another deal next week. $28.99. 54% off. Chatsports.com/PatsPolo. If you want to go golfing like I do and like to rep the Pats while you're doing it, get your polos today. Chatsports.com/PatsPolo. We'll have that in the comments and description of today's video. So let's just say the Patriots do end up trading Stefon Diggs. And I'll just say, let me be completely clear. I do not want to trade him. Keep him. He is our wide receiver one. You don't need to go out and get rid of Diggs for a better wide receiver because there's not a lot going out there. But let's just say, okay, maybe they do decide to get rid of him. Well, it wouldn't be much for them because when the Patriots signed this contract, they made it a year-by-year basis. So there's no guaranteed money after this season, and they have an out after each year just in case he doesn't perform. It's a very big incentive-based contract. And you see there, he's entering age 32 season, coming off ACL surgery. I think he's going to be great. I've seen the workouts. I've seen what has happened, what he has done throughout this offseason. I think he's going to be ready. I think he's going to come back just as good as he was. But the Patriots, they're still on the open market for a wide receiver. We have seen the rumors of them just being linked to every single candidate on the market. And before Rashad Bateman did sign his extension with the Ravens, now make note, this was after Diggs got signed by the Pats. This was about a month and a half ago. Here's what Jeremy Fowler had to report. He said Bateman went out and talked to teams. He was told there were several who had interest: the Cowboys, the Patriots, and the Packers. He saw he had a market. The Ravens said, all right, we're just going to pay you. We won't trade you. So when you see that, it's like, okay, the Patriots are interested in another wide receiver, not just Stefon Diggs. And when it comes to a wide receiver that could be on the market, well, there's a guy that hasn't showed up to OTAs. There's a guy who hasn't shown up to minicamp, and that's Terry McLaurin. And Terry McLaurin is a clear-cut wide receiver one. It's better than Stefon Diggs at this moment in time. But do the Patriots want to get rid of him? Well, our guys here at Chat Sports with the Commanders Report and Jack Sperry, he came up with this trade, and I kind of laughed at it. Stefon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, and a 2026 second-round pick for Terry McLaurin. What are we doing here, Jack? You're getting rid of Diggs, Boutte, so you're getting rid of two wide receivers and a second-round pick for Terry McLaurin, a guy that's on an expiring contract, so you got to pay him. Now, the Patriots have that money to pay him, but I think you could get McLaurin for a lot less than getting rid of Diggs and Boutte and a draft pick. Come on, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Way too much. Would you guys make this trade, though? Type T for trade. Type P for pass. I hope I see a whole bunch of P's for pass in this because what are we doing here? I'm just going to come in straight up and say this. Hell no. I'm not doing that trade in a heartbeat. I'd rather have Stefon Diggs and Kayshon Boutte and still your draft pick while also having a wide receiver one. You're getting rid of multiple guys to just get Terry McLaurin, who is also aging. He's also on the top. He will be at the top end of 30. Why are we do not do that trade whatsoever. You figure out something else. I said you can get rid of a third, a fourth, and maybe throw in another player. Not a wide receiver. You're not getting rid of two wide receivers, including your wide receiver one, to get a better wide receiver one. Just figure out a way to keep Diggs while also getting a number two wide receiver to put alongside of Diggs to help out Drake May. You also have your tight ends, Hunter Henry, and Austin Hooper. So do you really want to go out and get rid of some of your top guys? I don't think so. Diggs will be here week one. That's my bold prediction for this year. I've seen what he's done. I've seen his rehab process. It has looked good. and I think he's going to be here. Training camp, we're going to see him on the field week 1. Not getting traded, so Bedard, you can kiss it. No, not happening whatsoever. That's going to do it for today's episode of Patriots Today by Chat Sports. If you want to keep the conversation going, go ahead, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Instagram at @TheRealAlper, and as always, let's go Pats.